Hey Microhousers, I wanted to do a video here for you. I've been promising to do this video, and I wanted to show you how to save several $1000s on your micro house build. And I've been promising this on my sites, and so I wanted to get this going. The thing I want to show you I think is pretty interesting and pretty cool, and I just kind of came up with the idea. There's literally thousands and thousands of older RVs out here in the U.S. in people's backyards and sitting in sale lots and sitting around in the bushes, and there's really nothing wrong with them. They don't get a lot of use. So you may find campers that sit in the back of pickups, or little camp trailers, or little RVs that are from the 60s, 70s that they don't get used more than a few weekends a year and a couple of weeks for vacations, and then they kind of get forgotten about and they just wind up getting sat there. But they're not getting a lot of hard use, so they may be 20 or 30 years old, but they may only have a few thousand miles on them and just haven't gotten a lot of use. So everything still is very functional about these, other than they're older, and you know, the weather's kind of taking its toll on the outside. But and oftentimes they get leaks because they don't get taken care of, and then pretty soon they're just sitting there with weeds growing around them. Well, you can get a hold of these things very inexpensively. They can be as little as, you know, a couple of $100, $400 or $500, $700, $800, you know, maybe even $1,000 for some that are in better shape. But here's what you can get out of the deal. This is where you can save a lot of money if you want to take advantage of one of these things when you're building your microhouse. So I'll show you what I've got sitting right here. This is what I did a video on a long time ago. I think it's a 1976 or 77 little Dodge 18-foot motorhome, and I bought this thing for 500 bucks running. I drove it home. It was sitting over in Idaho, and a guy had it and had been living out of it, and everything is working in this thing, so it's fully functional. But it's old and it's seen better days, there's no doubt about it. But here's what you can do. They have propane fired hot water makers, hot water tanks in them, and this thing has got a functional hot water maker right here. It's a little 5 or 6 gallon hot water tank. You can pull this out of here and plumb it into your new tiny home or micro house, and we're going to do this on the project. So if you want to subscribe and follow to see how I pull all this apart and redo it. But this is an awesome little piece of equipment right here. Right next to it I've got an outlet for it's a weather tight outlet for 110 volt that I could take off of here and use on my micro house. Right here is the fresh water inlet to the storage tank for the fresh water, and there's a nice size fresh water tank sitting inside here. I'll show you in a little bit. I'm going to walk you around this way now. In the back here I've got an access hatch, and inside here you can't see it real well, but there's a 12-volt battery sitting right here. So I've got 12-volt battery that I can use to help with my off-grid 12-volt systems that I'm going to be using in here. And there's a 12-volt water pump to pump water around to the bathroom and the kitchen that's in here, and I'll show you those. So I can take those out and use them. Right here is the 110-volt power cord, which is probably, I'm not going to pull it all the way out, but there's probably 30 feet of it in here, and this is a good, pretty expensive cord, and you can get adapters for these so you can run them right off 110, or this thing will probably do about 30 amps if it's got the service for it. So then right here, I already took them out, but you can get a couple of 5-gallon propane tanks, and the regulator and hoses and lines and everything all hooked up and ready to go, and you can take those off. The back side of what I'm going to be showing inside this is where the refrigerator sits that goes in these, and these are usually at least 2-way, but oftentimes 3-way refrigerators. So that means they run on 110 volts, they'll run on propane, or they'll run on 12 volts. So you can run them off your battery or off a solar system, and they're really efficient little refrigerators. They usually have a little freezer compartment in them as well. And then this is the grate for the exhaust on the gas-powered furnace that's sitting in here that we can also take out and use. So right there, you've already exceeded by far the value of this vehicle in the things that if you had to go out and buy these new, you would spend. The refrigerator itself is probably worth like $1,000 new. So just right there, you've already saved the money on what I paid for here. This is a little vent right here that goes to the stove hood range for the ventilation over the top of the stove, and that can be pulled off. And it needs some cleanup, but you can sand these down and paint them, and then use them on your house and paint them the color of your house so they'll blend in. So let's go take a look inside, and I'll show you what we got in here. There's even a little 12-volt 110 light at the door, and that's something you could use if you wanted to pull it off. So in here, what I've got is the refrigerator, gas heater. I've got a 3-burner stove and oven, perfectly functional, and these are great. We've used these to bake our cookies. They work real well. This drops down over the top, so you've got a little more counter space when you're not using it. And here's a little range hood that's got a fan and a light in it. Very functional, just needs some cleaning. Here's a really nice, and see, the thing is these are all sized appropriately for tiny houses already, so that's the beauty of them. You don't have to go trying to find something and adapt it over. These are made for that. So here's a little 2-compartment stainless steel sink and a faucet. They all work. They need cleaned up. Pull them out, put them in the counter, and you're in good shape. You can take this and make a pattern to make yourself a new cutting board that you can drop in over the top of this, so you've got some extra space. You can make 2 of them if you want to. If you don't like green, then don't use the counter. If not, you know, even this, we can just call this retro. It's a pretty nice looking little unit, even though it's green, you know, but so what? If you don't like it, there's appliance paints you can use to change the colors. So here's another really cool little deal. This is a removable table, and all you have to do when you're not using it is pull it off, which the pipe came with. But the nice thing is you know what? If you like green, you're in good shape. If you don't like green, put a different color veneer over the top of this thing and change it to whatever you want. But the hardware and the pattern, and you can change the size of this table. You can make this wider or longer or narrower or whatever it is you want to do. But you can use all this hardware. The pipes come off, and so you could use this in your own tiny home. The stands that are at the bottom here, unbolt those or unscrew them and take them out. I'm going to get this out of the way. I want to show you another thing. Now again, this place, it's seen better days, there's no doubt about it. We're not here to, you know, buy this for the upholstery. Although if it was in better shape, maybe you could use it in your, you know, in your tiny house. So right down here, there's your freshwater holding tank, and it's set up for the electric pump to pull water around to the sink in the kitchen area here and over in the bathroom. So those are all harvestable, if you will. There's a variety of 12-volt and 110 lighting throughout this vehicle that you could pull out and use, and a little bathroom right here. And you know, the toilet may or may not be salvageable in this one, but I'm gonna be putting a composting toilet in mine anyway. And the shower pan I've already gotten out of a different RV, so I'm not going to be using this particular one, although I'm sure it's functional. And then there's a little sink right here, a little corner sink, and the faucet, and then it's set up for the spray hose for your shower is attached to it, so that's kind of cool. And then you got a light right there. There's a medicine cabinet. You could use that if you wanted to, just take it off the wall. So really pretty handy to get a hold of. All these appliances and components that you need in your tiny house. And like I said, if you want to go price those and find out what they cost new, you're going to be looking at several thousands of dollars to buy all this stuff, and it's already sitting right here. All you need is a little elbow grease, clean them up, pull them off, and put them back into your new home, and be able to use these appliances probably for many years to come, because there's nothing really wrong with them. They've gotten a whole lot less use than their years show for it. So I can give you that as an idea. There's an air conditioning system right here. This actually has heat and air conditioning. You can change it back and forth. It's electric, And so that's another component that I could take off this unit. And these are worth a few bucks. So pretty cool that you can get a hold of one of these. Again, these cleaned up a little bit. And you know, got a light right here that I can take off that works probably 110 or 12 volt. So it's pretty cool. You can get a hold of all this stuff. I just thought I'd pass that along, give you some ideas, help you save some money, and I'll be using some of these components in the micro house project that we're building. So, you know, make sure you subscribe to YouTube and the WordPress blog for the project, and we're on Facebook too if you want to join the conversation there. So and until the next video, I'll see you soon.